Alrighty, today we're going to talk about some of the best picks for your baby registry. So let's jump right into it. We are starting off with a baby registry that for whatever reason has 2 wraps on it. I typically would not recommend getting 2 wraps. I'm assuming they're having a single baby, not twins. The mom potentially wants to try both styles, but I would try one first and see how you feel about it. And then if you need to try something else, try something else. But I would not typically get 2 right off the bat. Now into some baby clothes. Okay, based on the clothing, it's looking a little more boyish, but I also love that some of this is kind of gender neutral. I mean, it's definitely leaning boy, but some of these jammies you could definitely use on a little girl. I also noticed these are 6 to 9 month, like onesies. That's great. Thinking ahead, some jammies 0 to 3, and then some more jammies 3 to 6. I love that we're spreading out the ages a little bit. Okay, since 0 to 3, these are very gender neutral. This is a little baby bear suit. I love these things. We had gray ones for ours. And honestly, if you have any outdoor fall, winter, or even spring parties, these are amazing. They keep them so toasty. I do recommend getting ones that have a closed foot if your baby is not walking. That way that their feet are warm as well. Because, babies aren't wearing shoes and socks can only keep them so warm. And I also would recommend the cuffed sleeve as well. Those are amazing. They can be wonderful to keep baby warm in a not so ideal climate. Now we got some socks. I love that these socks are not patterned. Like if you notice all the grays match, then there's like this medium tan gray and then white. When you sort the laundry, you can just make piles of colors instead of matching each set. So I love that. Okay, now mittens. I'm anti-mitten. I would rather just get like sleepers that have a cuff on them if you need to use them. First off, just try to keep baby's nails cut. Ideally, baby doesn't scratch their face. But if your baby really, really struggles with it, then you can go on and buy the mittens. You can also put socks on their hands instead, especially larger socks. So I would not get mittens because I feel like their life of use is very, very short. Okay, a couple more sleepers, 3 to 6 month. Again, love the variety on that. Baby bath. This is like a 4-in-1 grow with me tub. Bathing your baby is hard, no matter what you go with. So I recommend just trying to go for very affordable baby bathtubs. That's my personal opinion. Now, these washcloths, again, I keep seeing them, microfiber. I would not get these. I wouldn't get 24. Body wash, we're going to skip that. Now, the cup to rinse baby's hair in the tub, just use a normal cup. You don't need to buy a special one. That's silly. Now, these Winnie the Pooh towels. Let's do a quick detail. Okay, I don't know why, but I could not find the measurements on those towels. There's more towels here. What I will say about towels in general is get toddler towels, not baby or newborn. Anything that's more like a 40 by 40 inch or even 48 by 48. If it's in the 30s, it's too small. They're going to outgrow it very quickly. And then one more set of towels. I do have to say, on all these towels, it's up to you how many you want. I don't think you need 6 personally. I do the laundry pretty frequently, but I would say I like that these are pretty gender neutral because that way they can be used for your next child. Okay, diaper pail. I am anti-diaper pail. I think just use the regular kitchen trash can or a trash can that is more affordable than that, or just put them in the garage, like bag them up. I don't believe in diaper pails. Okay, now we got some waterproof like changing pad liners. So they probably have a changing pad coming up where they're going to change baby. We changed our babies on a guest bed that was in their bedroom. So to each their own. Aquaphor, I would not necessarily get a specific one. I would probably just get the generic. All right, some wipes. I think wipes are always great. CeraVe, like more lotion, great. No problem with that. Up to you what you use. The diaper rash cream, like spatula, nothing wrong with that. I always say get one if you're going to get it. You don't need multiple of that item. Okay, some burp cloths. I love the style of these, how they're very gender neutral. Now, my only thing would be I like all my burp cloths to match that way that when you go to fold them and put them in the drawers, they're the same shape and they stack and they look nice together. I would pick a type and buy like 15 of them and just, that's it. That's all you need. That's all you got. Now, we got 2 different types of bottles. I was a breastfeeding mama, but if you're going to get bottles, I would try one kind and stick with that at first because you're going to have different parts and pieces to all these bottles. And it's messy. It's confusing. Say your husband doesn't have a lot of experience with babies and bottles, confusing for him and just makes things more difficult in general. So I would go with one. And then the mistake here is these are 4-ounce bottles. They outgrow those. Why not just get a big bottle from the start? Okay, these say washcloths. So I would skip on those microfiber and do these instead. Those look very nice, very simple. Now we got a bottle warmer. I would skip that as well. To me, this is not a must-have on your baby registry. I think people have lived without them for plenty of time and you can manage. Now we have a drying rack for bottles. Again, I think it's unnecessary. Dry them on a towel. How hard is that, really? This is going to sit out and take up space and just look cluttery in your kitchen, to be completely honest. So I wouldn't get it. I would dry them on a towel. And if you feel like they're falling off the towel, put a big bowl, like a mixing bowl, put a towel in the mixing bowl, throw them on the mixing bowl, shake them up, mix them around, let them dry. Okay, now another set of bottles here. And I think that's slightly different. I believe, oh, and then this one's Dr. Brown. Oh, you're getting too many types of bottles. That's going to be confusing. Would not recommend doing that. All right, now some Burp Claws. This looks like a similar vibe to the other ones, but they may be different. So it's that different shape can be kind of annoying when you're doing the laundry. All right, now they went with the 3 different types of bib. So what I would actually do in this case is I would skip the middle ones. I would keep the little drool scarves. We didn't use them a ton. They weren't our favorite, but if you want one when they're like in that bottle phase and like drooling and spit up, I would keep one of those 2. And then once they start doing solids, I would use the silicone. We, I believe, have a set very similar. 3 is great. 1 for home, 1 for the diaper bag, and then 1 could be a second for at home for like between dishwasher loads. It could be for daycare. It could be for grandma's house, whatever the case. All right, we've got some pacifiers. We were a pacifier family. I see nothing wrong with that. A thermometer. It's always good to have a thermometer in the house, so great choice there. Now on the baby monitor, it looks like they're going with one that already has 2 cameras. I love that because if you are going to have more children and you still want to monitor the toddler and the baby, you already have both cameras. So you don't have to worry about this product going out of stock or no longer carrying a camera that goes with your screen. So love that. And I also love that it's a split screen. I think that's awesome. Lotion, no problem with that. Up to you. Another thermometer and then like a passy syringe. I've never used one of those. We just gave our kids medicine via the syringe. But if you want to be prepared, that is up to you. Now we have a VTech, a more simple baby monitor without the screen. I've noticed a lot of baby registries having this where you have your nice one and then you have this one. I'm assuming it's for on the go. We actually did the same thing and we've used it at, grandparents' house. We have a camper, we've used it in that. So sometimes it is nice to have a secondary baby monitor. All right, the grooming kit. I don't recommend getting a grooming kit. I do like, though, they didn't do blue or pink. They just did like a gender neutral one. I prefer that. But a lot of these items are pretty cheap in my opinion. And I would just get the specific item you want. If you want a comb, get a comb. If you want nail clippers, get nail clippers. And you're going to get better quality. Nose free to snot sucker. I always say wait on this. Wait till your baby's sick or a very sinusy baby, then invest in these items. Okay, this is a newborn like kind of sample essentials. Up to you on that. Okay, some more pacifiers, totally fine. These are like not newborn ones. They're like the next size up. So thinking ahead, always smart to do that. Okay, I do want to also mention that all the links for these products are going to be in the description. So if you're interested in getting any, please go check that out. On to bedding. So it looks like some little dragon type sheets, fitted sheet, I think. Let's see. I think so. And if you're okay using that for a boy or a girl, go for it. I definitely lean towards gender neutral sheets. And then we've got a sound machine for on the go. That's okay. We used an old cell phone for free, just what we did. Okay, some more fitted crib sheets. It looks like it says cows and birds. Sounds good. Then we have some swaddle blankets and some more swaddle blankets. I would have got the same brand. Again, just simply for stacking, folding. They're all the same shape, same size. I'm a fan of that. I like things to be uniform. And then it looks like some more swaddles. I would not get that many unless you truly plan on swaddling your baby in them. I found burp cloths were what I used for burping, and then swaddle blankets were kind of like jack of all trades, master of none. So if I needed to tuck them in the car seat and it was chilly and I wanted to wrap them up, used it. If I forgot my nursing cover, used a swaddle. If my burp cloth got really, really dirty, I'd grab a swaddle and use that if I needed to. So they were just kind of like a catch-all that I used for a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but they weren't a huge need item, I would say. Okay, we're getting into some bigger items. Now, are these must-haves or are these skips? Let's get into it a little more. So the rocking chair. We did not get a rocking chair. We lived without one. You can, if you are on a tight budget, focus on diapers, focus on wipes, car seat, stroller. Get your essentials before you get luxuries, okay? Now, I will say that chair is beautiful, but is it a need? No. Next, we have the mattress for the crib. Okay, no problem with that. You more than likely are going to want a new mattress. However, I would say you could get a secondhand crib if you're comfortable with it. We did. Sorry if that bothers you. Now, I typically don't like a convertible crib. Let's see the details on this one. Okay, so this is why I don't recommend convertible cribs. Okay, so if you look at that bed, okay, so when it's a crib, you've got big piece, small piece, and then you take off one. Where's that big piece now? it's having to be stored somewhere. And this little piece you had to buy. And then you get here, now you're storing this big piece and this little piece. Now let's turn it into a full-size bed. What are you doing with these little side pieces here and that little piece there? And the box spring as well, like the underneath part and the mattress. And then you also had to buy rails to go here to here, here to here. What are you doing with those pieces that you're storing? Do you just trash them? Because they could have this bed, this full-size bed, until they're 18. So are you just trashing those crib pieces? That seems very wasteful to me. And then what if you have a second child? So you're turning this crib into their big bed, but then you have to buy a whole nother crib? No, here's what you do. You buy a crib, use the crib for every baby, and then you upgrade them to a bed. And then when you're done having children, you get rid of that crib as a whole crib that someone could use. People can't use your random spare parts. Okay, other point to this. If you look, the back of the crib and the front of the crib are the back and front of this bed. You know what a lot of babies do? They gnaw on their crib. When they're teething, they will put bite marks on it. And yes, you can get rail protectors, but sometimes they still do it even with the rail protectors. They find the hole between them, or they push them apart, or they rip it off. I don't believe in convertible cribs. Okay, I will link a whole video I have on that in the description. It's on my other channel, my mommy channel, where I go into detail about products and thoughts on things like this. So I do not recommend a convertible crib. Okay, moving on. Next, we have a bassinet. Now, I will say I'm not pro bassinet. I think if possible, put the crib in your primary bedroom with you, or consider sleeping with your baby. So I wasn't a fan of the bassinet. With my first and my second, we kind of did different things. And what I ended up finding with my second that worked best for me was they were in their crib in their bedroom, and I slept on the guest bed in their room with them. I was okay being apart from my husband. He stayed in our room alone, and I was good with that. I was a breastfeeding mama, so nighttime was on me no matter what. And we had a toddler at that point. He was on toddler duty during the day for the most part. Like, obviously he went to work and things like that, but in the evenings, in the mornings, he helped with the toddler a ton. So I wanted him to be well rested. I wanted him to be a good dad and be a good helper. And even if I needed to take a nap in the evening or something, he could be on parent duty and I could rest if needed. So I did all the night times and I was with baby and I was good with that. So I don't always recommend a bassinet. I think they're very expensive. You're only going to use them month 1, depending on the size of your baby, to month 4 to 6. That's a really short window if you really think about it in life. And all that time they're in the bassinet, they're now not using the crib. So your crib is getting used fewer months at the beginning, which actually decreases that value. I think of my baby products in terms of money in months. Okay. And again, I'm speaking from the perspective of having a baby on a budget. If you're a doctor, spend all you want to spend. That's totally fine. We'll get your hand-me-downs from the thrift store and be so thankful for it. So I'm not judging if you have the money to spend. It's if you don't have the money to spend. We gotta rein it in. Okay? Hope that makes sense. This mama looks like they're trying to breastfeed. Based on this, I would say you have way too many bottles up top if you're genuinely going to breastfeed. Now, I don't know if this mom is going to work or do daycare or pump or what their situation is entirely, but if you're shooting to breastfeed, I would not invest a lot in bottles and the bottle drying rack and things like that. Now, Silverettes, holy moly, that is $60. I've seen those for like $30. That is expensive. I breastfed 2 babies and I did not have those. People say they're amazing, but I didn't have them. They're not a need. Don't get confused what a need is, what a want is, or what a convenience is, or a nice to have item. I can link a video on it goes to my other channel as well, and it is about breastfeeding supplies. And I talk about which ones I feel like are needs, which ones are luxuries. Okay, now the Haka, I did have a Haka. I wouldn't say it's 100% like you have to have one, but is it nice to have? Yes. And that ladybug catcher for the opposite side you're nursing on, I would say a good item to have. I didn't have that. Now, a nursing cover, I like this style. I got mine for free as a hand-me-down, but I like the collar on it, how it's got some structure to it. That is helpful for looking down and peeking at baby, because the ones that are super stretchy, unless you like put your head through the hole, it can be kind of tricky to like open and close it. Okay, some nipple butter. I do recommend getting something for your nipples, because you will get chapped, and that is essential, is that you keep your body like healthy, if you know what I mean. So that's actually my number one breastfeeding item. If I was out in the woods with nothing, having to breastfeed my baby, that's what I would want. Okay. Now the therapy packs, they can go hot or cold. I did not use these, didn't have them. I managed without them. Nursing pads. I did use nursing pads because you leak. And I love that these don't have colors on them. They're just like neutral. So they're going to hide under your clothing a little better. They match. Some of these, they'll be like rainbow sets. I don't want to have to match my nursing pads, pink with pink or purple with purple. No, one color, easy peasy. Okay, so this is, I believe, a cover for the nursing pillow. And then this one might be the actual pillow. I lived without a nursing pillow. I actually used a guest pillow off our bed when they were tiny newborns, but before you know it, they get strong. It's kind of like the bassinet. You don't use it as long as you think you're going to use it. So I would say skip the nursing pillow potentially, but if you are concerned about really wanting to make it work and you think it's an essential for you, go for it, okay? If you want to be successful breastfeeding, I applaud that and I do wish you the best in it. So if you feel like you need supplies, that's an area that is valid, in my opinion, to purchase those supplies. Okay, some breast milk storage bag adapters. This goes with a pump and it helps put milk straight into a bag probably. I didn't pump very much. My baby was with me, so I can't talk too much on that, but if it's a convenience item, but it's not too expensive, that's okay. Let's keep going. So we got the car mirror. I had one. I loved it. I love being able to see baby. So I'm a fan of that. Now we got a stroller fan. Love this because you can literally use it forever. They could be 8 years old and on the beach and you attach it to their lawn chair. Items like that, they're practical for baby, but they're also not just a baby item. Okay, the Even Flow Pivot Stroller Travel System. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and click on this. I want to see some more details on it. Okay, so let's take a quick look. So $216 is not bad if it is a stroller with this style seat, plus a base, plus a car seat, and potentially the car seat could click into this as well. Let's take a look. Okay, I think the bassinet section might be an additional item if you want it, but you can do it like this. You can do it like this. You can flip it around. Okay, so they're not necessarily getting the bassinet to lay baby flat, but baby can sit in the car seat, and then once they're a little older, sit in this. So I would say you could skip the bassinet if you wanted to. This looks like a really nice car seat, and for the price, I feel like that's an amazing price. Now, I will say I like a jogger. I got a jogger and I really loved having a jogger. It was the Graco Fast Action Fold. I can link that in the description. And yeah, a jogger, I like the big wheels. What can I say? So if you're curious about that, I can link that in the description. One thing that sometimes I see with baby registries is that people skip putting a car seat on here. Now, if you want to purchase it yourself, that's totally fine, but please make sure that you are getting essentials first. Don't add things in like the rocking chair, the dresser, the Baby Breeza bottle washer. Get your car seat. And stroller isn't 100% essential, but most people are going to want a stroller. Get your car seat, get your stroller, get your crib. Those are what you need. Now, it looks like they went ahead and registered for the neck size up car seat. It looks like it could be for newborn. It says 4-in-1, so it's going to have a really long life to it. It's kind of expensive, but you are going to get a lot of use out of this. Okay, now some car seat covers. I found that I got a couple of these for free, either given to me by friends or in the Amazon welcome box or Target welcome bag. So I wouldn't actually spend money registering on those myself. Okay, a toy for the car seat. Again, I feel like I just had one given to me. You don't always have to get all these things. Now, no big deal on that. Basically, I don't know. It's a little expensive for just one little toy, but everything's expensive. Okay, stroller organizer. So I'm assuming that stroller was just a plain handle, so you are going to want an organizer. I know some people would say that's not a need. For me, it is for practicality. I like systems. I like organization. I would love that if my stroller did not have storage. Okay, some tummy time, contrast books, and mirror. Those are fine. They're not something you have to have. Your baby can just look around at the room, Or you could put books, board books that are the ones that are hard. Put those around them, and then later on you could read the books to them that have actual words and things like that. So I try to think ahead if possible. Little teether toy, more teether toys, not a super need. More black and white stuff. Again, I would think ahead a little bit on maybe just put some books around them or something. I don't know. I struggle with buying things for infants when you could just buy a older version and kind of use it when they're younger. So I try to be thrifty. What can I say? Okay, introducing food. I would say you do not need this. I would just do either food that is puree with a spoon or do baby-led weaning where they just munch on it. I don't think you need this feeder. It's just something to wash and clean. All right, we're trying to talk about best picks here, but I definitely feel like I'm finding picks that are not exactly my favorite. For example, this wipe warmer. I think a wipe warmer is just a fire hazard. And if anything, your baby's not always going to get warm wipes. At grandma's house, when you're just at a restaurant and, using wipes out of the diaper bag, they're not going to get warm wipes. So I think wipe warmers are silly. All right, a rug. I typically don't like to put a lot of decor on the baby registry, but, whatever. Okay, we got some vitamin D drops. Personal choice on that. Ooh, we have a bidet sprayer. I know what this means. cloth diapers. We'll get to that in a minute. All right, some Vaseline, again, personal choice. The crib mobile. Some people say, they could fall on your baby and be like a strangulation risk kind of thing, like a safety risk. Up to you. I wouldn't spend my money on it, but I'm not a decor kind of lady, Backdrop. Huh. Are you just like tacking that to the wall? Is that a decal? Not real sure on that. Okay, some red night lights. Those might be better for like nursing in the dark. I'm sure they probably did their research as to why they got the red. Cool. Okay, some organization for the closet. If you are tight on space or you feel like this would work better for you than maybe a dresser or hanging clothes, go for it. That's up to you, your home, and your strategy. However, this isn't specific for baby. You could use it forever. So that's one thing I love about it. Maternity nursing bras. When it comes to buying bras, I definitely recommend getting them bigger. Your boobs aren't getting smaller. They're going to get bigger, if anything. And also, if you're struggling with bras while you're pregnant, and say you're getting engorged during pregnancy, don't buy just regular bras when you're pregnant that are bigger. Go ahead and buy nursing bras and start wearing those while you're pregnant and get that bigger size if you intend to nurse at all. It just makes more sense and is more thrifty. Okay, the Freedom Mom recovery set. I did not get this set specifically. I will say the hospital sends you home with a decent amount of stuff, at least here in the US. You can also ask for extra, so Tux pads, I was given a decent amount at the hospital. I do believe with my first baby, I did go out and buy more. And that's just going to have to do with your tearing and recovery if you experience that. Hopefully you don't. Okay, this looks like some sort of storage basket or maybe a hamper. Love that. That's beautiful. It doesn't have elephants on it or, just cutesy stuff. Okay, these are like feeding spoons. I've never tried them. I don't think it's like a must-have, but I will say if they're trying to eat like banana and their hands are slippery or avocado, it might be nice to put them in the spoon, like squish it up in there. Okay, some red light bulbs. They're probably gonna have a lamp in there and want more of that red light. I don't know if you need that much, if the night lights are good enough. Teach their own on that. Bottle brush. I do like a bottle brush. I like just getting one though. You don't need a zillion. You don't need a fancy set. This is under $5. And this is good for A, cleaning bottles, B, pump parts, and then C, when your kid has a sippy cup, you're still gonna want this. And then after they're done with it, if you're still using it, you can just use it to wash your cups. Like, it's a functional item. Okay, next we have a little wall decal. Okay, more decor, whatever. The 8-cube storage area, that's great for toys. It's great for organization, and it doesn't scream baby. Some baskets to go into that, great. Okay, this is a changing pad. It's the changing pad, and it has a storage area for diapers and wipes. These can be great. Sometimes your diaper bag will come with one of these though, so watch for that. All right, pacifier clips. I love that these aren't bold and bright. They could match an outfit very easily. Oh, see, here we go. Diaper bag looks beautiful, but it has a changing pad with it. So I don't know why we need that additional changing pad. Maybe they want to keep one in the diaper bag and maybe one in the car or even in the house. I don't know. Okay, this is a dishwasher basket for little parts and pieces. It is a practical item if you are going to put pacifiers, nipples, pump parts in the dishwasher. It is very practical to have that. And it's only about $6. Okay, these are part of the cloth diaper situation. So these are the pockets. They go into a cloth diaper. It kind of like, again, these are inserts or pockets. The diaper is like this, and it's kind of got like an opening where you can stick that absorbent layer in. So they're going to cloth the diaper. I did not cloth the diaper, but I did a ton of research on it, and I even bought some. I was nannying at the time, and I was more focused on breastfeeding and being successful in that. That cloth diapering just didn't happen for me. It's one of my baby regrets, I would say, is that I wish I would have seen it through and done it. But my husband wasn't super on board, and I worked at a house where I nannied, so I would have had to take like a wet bag with me, and it felt a little overwhelming to do it in someone else's home. So I love that they're doing the cloth diapering. I think that's very cool. These bags here are called wet bags, and that's where you can store the diapers until you wash them. Okay, this is some sort of drying rack. I'm assuming in the kitchen, go under like a dish drying tray of some sort. Then we got some hand sanitizer, cool, Vaseline, some just lotion in general. We're going into the cold season, so okay. Now we have some bags. I think these are like poop bags kind of, which I'm not sure on that. Surely they're not using these for the cloth diapers, but if we're using cloth, do we need these? Because we're not doing disposable. So not entirely sure on that with the whole cloth diaper situation. Okay, this is like a furniture safety item. No problem with that. Some more nursing bras. Great. Okay, these are closet dividers. I actually don't think you need these for the most part. Depends on how much clothing you have. But what I do is I just have clothing hanging in the closet that fits my child. So when they're 6 months old, the 6-month clothing is up. The little stuff is already put away in the outgrown box, and the 9 to 12 month is in a different box that is a grow into box. So I only hang what we're using currently. Therefore, I don't need these. They're not the worst item, but they're just not a need for me. All right, we got a pump bag. If you are working and you really want to be successful pumping, I don't blame you for getting a pump bag. I would say you could also just use like an old lunch box or something, but I get it. And if you're trying to be successful, it is important to have what you need to do so. Okay, little fork and spoon. These are itty bitty, easy for baby to hold on to. Interesting. I would say you might want more than one set unless you're going to hand wash them, which that's okay if you want to hand wash them. But if you're wanting to put them in the dishwasher, you're going to need more than just one set. But maybe you see if you like them and then you get more. Okay, some little plates. Let's see, suction cup plates with a lid so you can store the leftovers. Kind of cool. I will say I don't think you should use suction cup plates all the time at home because as your kid gets older, you need to teach them that they don't dump their plate. Now at a restaurant, yes, that would be nice for at a restaurant. I will say that because their food falls on the ground, you're out of food. Like it's gross. At home, like, there's a little wiggle room there. Very cool overall. And then we got some like Lazy Susan turntables. These are just like kitchen storage, I would assume. And nothing wrong with that. I don't mind getting some household items that are helping with baby stuff. And again, these could be used for spices in the future or something. They're not limited to just the baby season. Okay, and that is the end of this baby registry. Okay, so let me know your favorite picks from this baby registry in the comments. I want to know what stood out to you most. And I also want to encourage you to subscribe for more reviews. That way that we can go over products and make sure you're not missing anything from your baby registry. Right off the top of my head, I can say, was there a high chair? Was there a booster seat? I don't think so. They forgot that. We don't want you to forget that. So subscribe and come back for more baby registry reviews.